Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the Militant Negro Network on YouTube. I am Mr. Militant Negro. You are now at my network, a place where truth, facts, and honest thoughts and opinions are spoken. Welcome, enjoy yourselves, and please subscribe. I recently did a story about whether Black History Month / Negro History Month was necessary in the year 2017. And just for the sake of not repeating myself over and over again, I am not going to refer to Negro History Month as Black History Month. If you're interested why I don't call the month of February Black History Month, but instead call it Negro History Month, then I suggest you browse through the list of my videos on my YouTube network and come across videos explaining why I don't recognize the term black as a term that applies to me or other people from the Negroid race. I'm not going to repeat that explanation here at this time. What I am going to do is try to explain to you once again why the month of February is indeed very necessary when it comes to educating people across the world about Negro history. As a Negro, and as a Negro who thirsts for knowledge and information and education about my history, I look toward the month of February as a way of informing anyone interested about Negro history. I did a video a couple of days ago about Negro history and if it was necessary, and my response to that question was, yes indeed. The month of February as Negro History Month is indeed vitally necessary. And I am interested in this story that I came across today about a student in a Baton Rouge, Louisiana school, high school to be exact, and what that student's response was to a Black History, Negro History assignment at that school. I'm going to read to you from theroguecollection.net. And the story goes like this. A student at St. Michael High School in Baton Rouge wrote a racially offensive report about Black History Month. The student, whose name will be excluded, is a white female teenage student at that Catholic school. The report began circulating around social media over the weekend, this past weekend to be exact. It is unclear how it became public at this stage of the game. The student said in the report, and I quote, "In my opinion, I am very unpleased about how I have to write a topic about black people. I am not fully racist, but I hate almost every black person." Let me stop right there. She said, and I quote again, "I am not fully racist, but I hate almost every black person." Think about that statement. Think about what it means. Think about what it actually says about this young lady. And while you do that, I will continue. She quotes, or I quote her rather, "They think they run everything, but in reality are an embarrassment to this country." Let me repeat that. She says they think they run everything, but in reality are an embarrassment to this country. Now I'm reading her exact words. I'm not paraphrasing. I'm not correcting her grammatically. I'm reading what she wrote. I continue. Just I strongly feel like this because I had a bad experience with black people. Maybe if they acted right, then I would look at them differently, but I do not and I never will. Again, I'm not correcting her grammatical errors. I'm just reading what she wrote word for word. She went on to say this, and I quote again. Think about it though. None of the apostles were different ethnic. They were all white. There was no black nor Hispanic mentioned really black back when Jesus' time was. All the stories we hear in the Bible are about like mainly white people. So since God knows everything that is going to happen, then he would have done something about that. Then later, then we start to hear about blacks and how they did not have freedom like whites did. So then, for example, Martin Luther King stood up in front of millions to present a speech about how we are all equal. As much as I want to believe and support that statement about everybody is equal, we are not. The student concluded the report by saying, sad to say, but maybe things would be better, they would have stayed slaves. I should not have to be scared for my life when I see them in my sight. Now the St. Michael principal sent out a letter on Sunday afternoon that read, and I quote, Dear friends of St. Michael High School, working with students is always a challenge. As a school community, we want our students to explore ideas and express feelings as part of their formation. While doing so, we sometimes find some of those ideas and feelings are not supported by our school or our church. Our Catholic Church teaches us that every person is made in the image and likeness of God. We are called to embrace and appreciate both the uniqueness of all persons and their equal standing before God. This is the faith journey that we take with our students. In the past, dialogue remained in the classroom where ideas were heard and students had an opportunity to grow in their thinking and reasoning. Unfortunately, there is a side to technology and the internet that short circuits this process and inhibits those discussions and that growth. What is said or written by individual students may be contrary to the teachings of the church and the mission of our school, as is the case in the recent message posted on the internet. We apologize to anyone who was offended by this writing. The ideas and writings of this student and their subsequent posting on the web were not within the school's control. We look at this incident as a teachable moment and as an opportunity for education and growth for all involved, particularly through reflection on the wisdom of our Catholic faith. The mission statement of St. Michael, the Archangel High School, calls us to be committed disciples of Christ. Please be assured that we will continue to work with all of our students to seek the truth, live the faith, and serve like Christ. Sincerely, Ellen B. Lee, Principal, St. Michael the Archangel High School. The story goes on to say this. The alarming part is that this young teenager had to be taught this type of hatred somewhere. Now, it's no mystery where this teenager was taught this racist viewpoint about Negro. It starts with her parents. It starts with her home environment. Then it graduates to the peers she hangs with. her street life, school life, friendship environment, all work to help her form this racist viewpoint. That is a fact. The school apologized and said that this is a teachable moment. My question is, are we teaching students how to conceal their thoughts of racism and not embarrass their families and schools? Or will this be an opportunity for a broader dialogue on race in the first school and then the Catholic Church? You have to talk about racism. It is not going to disappear or vanish or be fixed unless it is discussed and talked about intelligently and with a purpose of understanding. That is how you erase racism, not from America alone, but from the planet. You must discuss it. You must hear both sides of the racism issue. And yes, there are two sides to the issue of racism. There is the oppressor, that is the person who oppresses other people of color, and the oppressed, the people of color who are profiled racially, discriminated against racially, and persecuted racially. Two sides to the same coin. You can't fix a problem if you don't first acknowledge there is a problem, then work to correct that problem. And people in America and across the world bury their heads in the sand, up their asses, or wherever they can, so they don't have to pay attention to racism, talk about racism, work toward fixing racism. The hate speech in this young lady's writing is troubling, but a true reality in America. We continue to believe that we are on the road to ending racism, but when a teenager believes that Negroes will be better off as slaves, and she will soon carry that ideology into the workforce, we must stop and think what that will do for the future of America. And she's not alone. Many young Caucasian students are going to go into the workforce and into their adult lives with that mindset that Negroes are garbage. Negroes are less than Caucasians. Negroes should be slaves in 2017 because they were better off. What they really mean is that the Caucasian race was better off when Negroes were slaves, when Negroes were controlled and oppressed and put in shackles and manipulated. That is what they mean when they say Negroes are better off as slaves. This is upsetting. This is disgusting to me as a Negro. We must begin to ask ourselves, are we having the conversations necessary to truly end racial discrimination? Or are we fooling ourselves into thinking this is a post-racial America? The truth is there has been progress, but there has been not nearly enough progress. And the problem with racist Caucasians is they think a little progress is all that's needed. I've heard Caucasians say, well, you guys have it better than you used to have it. Yeah, well, it's better nowadays in some respects than it was in the 30s, in the 40s, the 20s. But what does that mean? Better doesn't mean you've reached the euphoria of where you need to be. Better doesn't mean you reach the mountaintop. Better doesn't mean it's better, does it? The media, the manner in which we do business as a city and a state, and even how we discuss issues of race must improve and be honest in order for real change to occur. I hope this young lady is truly taught history from a broader perspective than she has been taught. Her words are exactly why we need Negro History Month taught in our classrooms. Not just in February either, but all the year long. Negro history is American history. America was built on the backs with the blood and sweat and death of Negroes. That is a fact. You want to check what I'm saying as factual? Research it, investigate it. Find out for yourself how this country was indeed built. And it is high time we recognize the impact of slavery, because it is not recognized right today. It's diminished as a small, tiny thing. People talk about Holocaust all the time. And when they talk about a Holocaust, they speak mainly and specifically about the Jewish Holocaust. They never mention the fact that 100 million Native Americans were killed by Caucasians. That is a Native American genocide. That is ignored. They don't speak about the 20 million Africans who were slaves, who were killed coming from Africa, killed after arriving in America. That is a genocide, a Holocaust that nobody speaks about. And that is what I'm trying to get at. We don't know the history of Negroes or Native Americans for that matter because we don't care. Racism enslaved Negroes. And it is not something that is taught in public school systems. It is time America and the world recognizes Negro accomplishments and Negro history. And not just in the 28-day month of February, but all 365 days per year, 12 months per year. So when you ask, is Negro History Month necessary? My response is quite simple. Abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Negro History Month is necessary. And it will be necessary until Caucasians and the Caucasian education system recognizes Negro history as real, true American history. I am out of here. You guys have a great February, which again is Negro History Month. Be well. Stay safe. Namaste.